I'm a retired New Orleans police officer, and I wanted to tell you this story. I'm a former New Orleans police accident investigator and had handled many accidents in the city of New Orleans, and I handled many fatalities and just a lot of accidents. Well, I remember this one particular accident I had on famous Canal Street in New Orleans, and it was involving three cars. And when the dispatcher assigned me the accident to go handle, investigate, I arrived on the scene, and there was three cars wrecked out in the street. And when I noticed that, I figured there'd be three drivers, but soon found out that it was only one driver involved and then two parked cars. So it was a lady driving the car, and she, some kind of way, drifted over and hit a parked car, which hit another parked car, and so it left three of them out in the street. So I went over to the car where the lady was seated in there, and found out that the lady was very injured, and she had blood all coming down her head, and very bad injury. But she was able to speak to me, and I says, asked her for her driver's license, if she were able to give it to me, and she was, and I called for the ambulance, because the first thing a police officer is supposed to do is take care of the injured first. So I had the ambulance on the way, and meanwhile I'm trying to get a little information from her to start my investigation. Got a driver's license, got her name, address, and so forth, and then I got the information about her insurance company from her, and soon after that the ambulance arrived, and of course they took her off to the hospital. So I had to try to determine who the other two cars, the parked vehicles that she hit, belonged to, and I got a registration from their license plate, so I knew who the cars belonged to, and they weren't being driven, they were parked. So had that information from my accident report, and so I'm sitting in the car, and what I was doing is putting some information down for the accident on the report, and all of a sudden there was a loud screaming on the coming from the beside my police vehicle, and the guy said very loudly, he says, "Who hit my car?" And I looked over at him, and I said, "Oh, which one's yours?" And he pointed out one of the parked vehicles that was knocked out into the street by this lady, hitting it. And I said, "Well, the lady hit your car, and she was injured, and she went to the hospital." And he immediately interrupted me and says, "You let her go?" And I said, "Sure." I said, "I'll let her go." I had to send her to the hospital. You know, she was badly injured. And he's waving his arms around and just completely lost it, and he's screaming at me, and I said, "Look at my car, and you let her go." And I said, I had to let her go. I had to send her to the hospital, trying to explain to him. And he just kept screaming and cursing me, and I said, I got out of the car, opened my door and got out the car, and I said, "Look, I said I was going to leave you the information for her insurance company and her name and address and everything, and you can contact your insurance company for your damages. And he's still screaming at me, and I'm trying to explain to him, you know, that's about all I could do. Or the lady was injured, I had to send her to the hospital. You let her go, you know. And he grabbed me by the coat, and my police coat, jacket, and he bent me backwards on the hood of my car. And there I am. I'm looking up at his angry face, and I'm thinking, well, I've got to get out of this situation, you know. So I reach up and I grab him by the shoulder, and I pull myself up on him, lifted myself up, and got out of that backwards position I was in. And when I pull him up, I'm thinking now, because he still got me, still got a hold of me, and I'm thinking, well, I got to get out of this situation because this guy's crazy. He's either gonna try to pull my gun, or he's gonna try to throw me down or something, you know, try to kill me. And I used to practice at home. I'd stand by the edge of my bed and practice fast draw. And yeah, like the old Wild West, I'd practice fast draw with my gun unloaded, and just, you know, for a moment like this, you know, if I had to draw my gun pretty fast. So I got where, you know, I was pretty good at it. And I was thinking about that, and I said, I gotta grab my gun. I said, get this guy off of me. And so when I got the moment to do it, I let go of my right hand, and I reached down and I grabbed my gun real quick from my holster, and I put it in his belly. And I says, take your hands off me, I'll blow your belly wide open. And when I said that, I'm looking at him right in the face, and I noticed his face was, I mean, he started, his lips started quivering. So anyway, and then I poked the barrel of the gun in his belly, and he decided he better let me go. So he let me go, and I very quickly stepped back and got some distance between him and I. And I ordered him over to the police car. I said, you're under arrest. I said, get over by the police car. And he's yelling at me, you out of line pulling that gun on me. You out of line pulling that gun on me. And I said, get over by the police car. You're under arrest. You out of line. You out of line. Meanwhile, you know, I hear sirens coming, and I'm realizing that the public, you know, have been driving by and seeing what was happening, probably notified the New Orleans Police Department dispatcher that a police officer was in trouble. So when that happens, you know, everybody emerges, all the policemen emerge on that scene. So I heard sirens over here, sirens over there, sirens over there. So I knew help was coming. And so when he heard that too, he started looking around. I could see he was hearing the sirens, and he decided that he better go by the police car like I had ordered him to do. So he moved toward the police car, and so I unlocked the back door by pulling a chain that pops the door open. There's no handles inside, so you know, you get a prisoner in there, they can't open it from the inside. So I popped the door open and got him in the car. And when he got in the car, I pushed the door shut, and he's locked up then. So then I had him, and when the other guys got there, then, you know, I already had him secured in a police car, ready to take him in and lock him up. And that was it. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.